What's the next big thing in the Canadian automotive world? There is a hint it's something related to EVs. It's the arrival of Chinese EV manufacturers. They're sure to revolutionize the way Canadians drive, but it will be a sure thing now. Canada, often known for its breathtaking landscapes and friendly people, is quietly becoming a hotbed for the EV revolution. And Chinese EV makers have taken notice. They're not just dipping their toes in, they're diving headfirst into the Canadian market, eager to tap into its unique blend of opportunities. So what's got these Chinese automakers so keen on Canada? Well, for starters, the demand for EVs in Canada is skyrocketing. More and more Canadians are ditching their gas guzzlers in favor of cleaner, greener alternatives. In 2024, the revenue from the electric vehicle market in Canada is projected to reach $8.2 billion. The government is fueling this trend with a slew of incentives and rebates, making EVs an increasingly attractive option. In fact, EV sales in Canada surged by a staggering 50% in the last year alone. This kind of growth is a siren song for any EV manufacturer. But it's not just about demand. Canada's regulatory landscape has historically been more welcoming to foreign EV makers than that of its southern neighbor, the US. Lower import tariffs have allowed Chinese companies to compete on a more level playing field. The Canadian EV market has seen impressive year-over-year growth. For instance, in the first quarter of 2024, the adoption rate of zero-emission vehicles continued to rise, although quarter-over-quarter figures revealed a slight decline. And then there's the strategic advantage of geography. Canada's proximity to the massive US market is a huge draw for Chinese EV makers. By establishing a foothold in Canada, they can easily access and potentially tap into the vast American consumer base. It's a classic case of two birds with one stone. At the forefront of this Chinese EV invasion is BYD, a world leader in EV manufacturing. This company isn't just building cars, it's spearheading a technological revolution, particularly in the realm of battery technology and innovative electric powertrains. Their advancements in areas like the Blade battery, known for its safety and energy density, and the DiPilot advanced driver assistance system, showcase their commitment to pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the EV space. They've already made waves in Mexico and are now setting their sights on conquering the Canadian market. BYD is no one-trick pony. They boast a diverse range of EVs, from the budget-friendly Seagull, perfect for zipping around city streets, to luxurious models packed with the latest tech. They're not just catering to the elite, they're aiming to make electric mobility accessible to everyone. While BYD is keeping the exact timeline of their Canadian launch under wraps, they're not exactly being secretive about their intentions. They've been busy wooing Canadian dealerships and engaging lobbyists, signaling their serious commitment to the market. The question isn't if they'll enter Canada, but when and with which models. Industry insiders predict a mix of affordable city cars, practical SUVs, and even some high-end luxury options to cater to diverse Canadian tastes. But it's not all smooth sailing for these Chinese EV makers. While initially welcoming, Canada is now considering the implementation of tariffs on Chinese EVs. This could create problems in their plans, as tariffs would likely drive up prices and make them less competitive. It's a delicate balancing act for the Canadian government, weighing the benefits of affordable EVs against potential harm to the domestic auto industry. We're encouraged by the government's examination of these issues, GM Canada President Christian Aquilina remarked. Because on the basis of strong competition, a fair playing field, it encourages us to invest heavily, employ deeply. An unfair playing field can be quite detrimental, and it's only right that the government look at these issues and consider all of the facts. In addition to tariffs, Chinese EVs must also meet Canada's stringent safety and emissions standards. This often means additional testing and modifications, which could delay their entry into the market. It's a necessary step, but one that adds complexity to the process. Lastly, there's the logistical challenge of establishing a nationwide network of dealerships and service centers. Canada's vast size and sparsely populated regions make this an unsettling task. After all, what good is an EV if you can't find a place to service it when it needs a tune-up? Chinese EV manufacturers, armed with sleek designs and a reputation for competitive pricing, are poised to shake up the Canadian automotive landscape. The potential impact? A seismic shift in affordability and accessibility for electric vehicles. Think how much easier it would be for a future where the electric car, once a luxury for the wealthy, becomes a practical choice for everyday Canadians. This is the promise that Chinese EV makers like BYD bring to the table. With their efficient manufacturing processes and potential government subsidies back home, these companies have a track record of delivering high-quality electric vehicles at prices that could undercut established brands like Tesla, GM, and Ford. But it's not just consumers who stand to benefit. The arrival of Chinese competitors could ignite fiery competition among established automakers, forcing them to rethink their pricing strategies and double down on innovation. However, the road ahead is not without its bumps. Concerns about national security, data collection, and the environmental impact of EV manufacturing in China have raised eyebrows among some Canadians. The government's decision on tariffs and incentives, as well as consumer acceptance and industry adaptation, will all play crucial roles in determining the ultimate success of Chinese EVs in the Great White North. The numbers paint a compelling picture. Experts predict that Chinese EVs could capture a significant share of the Canadian market in the coming years, with some estimates suggesting they could account for up to 20% of new EV sales by 2030. This translates to hundreds of thousands of electric vehicles on Canadian roads, reducing carbon emissions and contributing to a more sustainable future. As we look to the horizon, the Canadian automotive landscape is on the cusp of a transformative change. The entry of Chinese EV makers promises a new era of affordability, accessibility, and competition, with the potential to accelerate the transition to electric mobility and shape the future of transportation in Canada. The road ahead is paved with both promise and uncertainty, but one thing is clear: the electric revolution is here to stay, and it's about to get a whole lot more exciting. For Canadian car buyers, the influx of Chinese EVs could be a dream come true, a chance to finally embrace the electric revolution without breaking the bank. But what does this mean for the average Canadian consumer? Well, for starters, it could mean finally being able to afford that electric car you've been eyeing for years. The competitive pricing of Chinese EVs could make them a viable option for budget-conscious buyers who have long been priced out of the electric market. It could mean families across the country being able to ditch their gas guzzlers and embrace a cleaner, greener mode of transportation. And it's not just about affordability. Chinese EV makers are known for their innovation, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the electric vehicle space. So what should Canadian EV buyers keep in mind when considering a Chinese-made EV? First and foremost, do your research. Learn about the different models available, their features, and their performance in Canadian conditions, especially in those harsh winter months. Take the car for a test drive to get a feel for its handling, acceleration, and overall comfort. Don't forget to check for incentives. The Canadian government and various provinces offer rebates and incentives for purchasing electric vehicles, and these can significantly reduce the upfront cost of a Chinese EV. Also consider the brand. While some Chinese brands are well established and have a proven track record, others are relatively new to the market. Research the brand's reputation for reliability, customer service, and after-sales support. Think long-term. Consider the availability of spare parts, service centers, and the car's resale value. Electric vehicles are still a relatively new technology, and it's important to consider the long-term ownership experience. The entry of Chinese EV makers into Canada is not just a local phenomenon, it's part of a global shift towards electric mobility. China, with its massive manufacturing capacity and government support for the EV industry, is playing a pivotal role in this transition. Its companies are not just competing on price, they are also pushing the boundaries of innovation, forcing other manufacturers to up their game. Canada, with its ambitious zero-emission vehicle targets and growing consumer demand for electric cars, is a prime market for this global shift. The arrival of Chinese EV makers could accelerate the adoption of electric vehicles across the country, making them more accessible and appealing to a wider range of Canadians. The road ahead is filled with possibilities and challenges. Regulatory decisions, market forces, and consumer preferences will all shape the future of Chinese EVs in Canada. As we start on this electrifying journey towards a more sustainable transportation future, one thing is clear: the Canadian automotive landscape is about to be transformed, and Chinese EV makers are at the forefront of this exciting revolution. But now it's your turn. What are your thoughts on Chinese EVs entering the Canadian market? Are you excited about the potential for more affordable options? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of our future videos. Thank you for watching.